Summer presentation of the Mars TV Dota 2 League here. It's the Changsha Majors North American qualifiers here. We've got OpTic Gaming versus Hooked Esports with OpTic taking the first game in this best of 3 series. Very quickly too, it was like 17.5 minutes. Pretty tried and true pushed lineup. Chen, Dragonite, Terrorblade, I mean, writes itself to an extent. I like the curveball that was thrown. I mean, trying to go for the last pick Meepo, trying to go for Radiant's Lifestealers. These are all very powerful options for a drafter in a very niche situation. But here, they didn't have the items for it to come online. They didn't have the time for it to come online. And they really just need to be down in the trenches fighting it out a lot earlier. So it looked like a very one-sided spree that was really punctuated by their attempt to engage in the Roche pit. Timing was perfect. Sagi took the last hit, took the Aegis, but they lose the fight in the end. They lose 5 heroes, and they don't get the Terrorblade twice. That comes down mostly to the Chen play there. PPD dropping some nice test of faith action there. So, I think it's was overall showcasing their potential with that hero, which has been really showcased throughout the scene, North American and international. Just very popular and very effective hero in this patch. And speaking of that, it gets banned out, and the next best thing comes into OpTic's hands, and that's going to be Gyrocopter. Gyrocopter, obviously, being able to just farm through stacks very quickly, fight at all stages of the game. Looking forward to seeing Pycat piloting up this little fella. And he's got a Wisp buddy. I'm not sure well enough if this is something that OpTic have been running, if this is something that works well with Gyrocopter in many situations. I play a lot of Wisp personally, but like the pairing is kind of weird because you usually want like a melee frontline hero who just kind of gets in the thick of things quickly. Wisp tethers, bombs in, and just allows the hero to wreck face. Gyrocopter does scale to an extent with attack speed, but once he runs out of flak charges, really he's mostly just providing the value of effective HP. So I think there's going to be another Wisp symbiote hero as the pairing, and we'll just have to kind of wait and see what that ends up being. So I guess did I introduce myself? If I haven't, yeah, I think I did. BlazeCasting. It's been a while. I think the last thing I cast was like a South American qualifier 3 months ago. It's just most of this work is behind the scenes at this point in time. I still love casting, but not often a need to do it. There's plenty of fresh and wonderful talent in the scene up and willing to do so. So, I'll fill in when I can, when I'm needed. These couple days are pretty crazy in terms of the amount of Dota going on. I mean, we've got MDL, we've got Star Ladder, we've got GESC starting tomorrow. That's just in like North America. You've got CIS region, you've got South American region. There's plenty of Chinese Dota going on. There's just so much. There's really a lot of Dota in this window, and you see Reddit threads wondering, why is that? Well, it's because each organizer wants to try to get the best teams involved, and it's very limited timing windows when that's possible to actually have happen, considering all the lands going on pretty much all the time. So scheduling's a bitch, but we make it work, and we've got some great Dota ahead of us. We've got OpTic, we've got Call, we've got EG on the other group. It's going to be a really great playoff, but to set the stage for that, we've got just round 1 of this Group B GSL bracket, and we'll see if it's going to be OpTic moving quickly into the upper bracket, potentially against Complexity, or if somehow, some way, Hooks can show what they've got and try to reverse kill 2-0 the other way. As far as the draft goes, progressing along nicely at this point in time, not only looking at that Gyro IO, but we've got Bane, Tiny, and Naga Siren. Sand King coming out now for potentially Zai in the 4 position, potentially 33 in the off lane. But I remember Zai playing a lot of Wisp, though, is the only thing. So I feel like this might be a 33 Sand King, a Zai Wisp, and then they kind of go with something that's very in your face for a couple of heroes in mid. Either way, Sand King gonna be quite effective at just kind of getting in the fights quickly. Can also be tethered to in a pinch, just so the Wisp can kind of get there and get involved. Maybe drop some spear bombs. But Hooked trying to defuse that a bit here, going for this Naga Siren pick. I think it's pretty interesting. Like, Tiny and Bane have very clear roles in terms of what they're trying to accomplish, but Naga Siren could be used in a lot of different ways. It can used to kite the Gyrocopter, because although Flak Cannon has a pretty good range. It's only if you're in range to hit a target, so you can ensnare and kind of keep your distance. You can use kind of Song of the Siren combos with Meteor Hammer. We've been seeing that happen quite a bit, and that's going to maybe force the Gyrocopter to go for a BKB, which you generally don't want to do against the Bane, who pierces right through it anyways. And then we also see Hooked going back for Fuzzy Sloth's hero, the Lifestealer. They want to try this one again. We'll see if they can go for the Radiance again. If this is a support Naga Siren, then you might suit yourself looking for a Lifestealer Radiance, and it's just, you know, at that point they're on the timer again. So, OpTic now tapping into reserve time a little bit. PPD giving it some thought. What does he want to bring to bear against Hook Esports? Plenty of options still in the pool. Banning out Earth Spirit and Shadow Fiend. They're going to pick up the Beastmaster for 33. So again, pushing emphasis is still going to be kind of involved in OpTic strategy, but not nearly at the same tempo that we saw previously. Like, these heroes could still go to the mid and late game very effectively, whereas, you know, Dragonite, Shed, Terrorblade, they're looking to gun things down very quickly, get a massive gold advantage where you just can't handle them. Gyrocopter, Beastmaster, they're definitely capable of pushing things in early, but they're also very effective at fighting at much later stages of the game. Beastmaster is still considered one of the counters to Lifestealer. Very effective at just kiting him out with the boar and disabling him in the fights. So you might have to see Roar initiations defused by Naga Siren. Like, if you see like an Epicenter coming in or a Primal Roar coming out on one of your heroes, the Naga just has to sleep and hope that nothing happens for the next 2 or 3 minutes while that song is on cooldown. Final pick coming out here from OpTic. It's going to be the Terrorblade again. All right, so we do have ourselves the Terrorblade. Last time was played in the mid by Pycat. And we'll see exactly how that looks now. Looks like it is going to be Sand King and Io running as the support. Beastmaster in the off lane, and then Gyrocopter and Terrorblade will have to decide who's going where. In the meantime, Hooked Esports have their final selection available as well, and they've got only 5 seconds to choose it. Gonna be going for the Tinker. Oh boy. So they're trying some fancy stuff. They really are. They're saying, okay, we've got some cool ideas up our sleeves. I mean, Ched is a Meepo Tinker picker of all things. But you know, there's some risk factor involved in that. Tinker is a very strong hero. When Terrorblade was at his peak, Tinker with Aghanims was considered one of the few answers to him. But again, you've got to come online with some big items very quickly. You got to get the Boots of Travels, you got to move in towards Blink, and figure it out from there. In the meantime, PPD on the Sand King, Zai on the Wisp, CCC on the Gyrocopter. It's going to make things very interesting. Because I'm trying to think about how active Zai can be this game. And exactly like how he's going to build himself up. Probably Urn of Shadows to open things up, but you know, after that, it's really uncertain. There's a lot, you know, you'll probably want the Mechanism. Mech Arcanes is kind of your tried and true, but your relocate plays are going to be like the key factor, right? You have to find a good target, and Shaker is a terrible target to relocate on. He's gone before you even finish the ultimate. The Lifestealer can Rage TP through everything but the Beastmaster. So I think it's going to be on 33 to set up the action. I think Beastmaster is going to have to find a Roar target. And as soon as they find a Roar target, you immediately relocate with the Roar and find a kill while Pycat's pushing a lane, pushing the side. So we'll take a look at that as the game progresses. The laning phase is going to break out a little bit differently depending on where the Tiny, the Naga, and the Bane decide to kind of hang their hats. I've been talking a lot, obviously, about OpTic because, you know, they have more traditional role sets. It's very clear where they're going to go. But, I mean, obviously, we could still see a lot of different interesting things coming in from Hooked. Right now, Tinker's got to be going mid. You would presume the Lifestealer is going safe lane. But that would leave Tiny in the off lane, and he's going to need some help. So, yeah, Oscar is going to be off laning the Tiny. The Puck was the off lane choice last time, but, yeah, he's definitely going to need some support. And it looks like it's going to be coming in from Zabo, who still going for the exact same item build, by the way. He had the Sand King previously, a Stout Shield, Windlace, Tango build for the Sand King. Now going to be echoing that on the Naga Siren. Down bottom, Onion is going to be the lane support Bane, who's going to be trying to help this Lifestealer get a good start, but already on the hunt. They lost bounty runes last time, and OpTic will never forgive themselves for it. It was a 3-for-1 bounty rune in favor of Hooked, and And now I think they're going to be looking for first blood and a little bounty action of their own. Onion has no idea what's waiting for him. Peter Pan Dam trying to get up there as well. Zai kind of flies the chicken coop a little early, and it is going to just poke back Onion. So we'll see if all by himself, all by his lonesome Pycat can contest this bounty here, and it looks like that is not the case. It's just going to be a 2 for 2. So yeah, as I was saying, I do think that it's going to be pretty interesting to see if this Tiny can really makes a big difference with his early nuke damage, and what he's fully capable of with a good item set. I mean, I also like the Blink Dagger Echo Saber Tiny, but the hero's changed a lot with the tree grab, and obviously just there's a lot of different options for the hero now. So we'll have to see like how good his farm is and really how many avenues that opens up for him. And in the meantime, OpTic are going to be doing their thing. Terrorblade, Pycat in the top lane here, just going to be looking for early tower pressure items, early physical damage items, so that the other 4 heroes can essentially just play the gank game. Just go for kills, just go for a good mix. Like CC&C still wants to farm, wants to get the stacked camps, he still wants to explode in net worth. But he also wants to maybe find some kill opportunities with Zai's IO. So it all comes down to 33 getting level 6, and we saw last time that he had a pretty good laning phase. Chen sent back on the creeps, the Chen helping him out quite a bit too. Tiny should be fine here, but will take quite a bit of harassment, and is going to chew through his tangos very early on. Pycat getting a lot of the right clicks coming out from this metamorphosis, and that extra bonus damage really just being a thorn in the side for the low armor Tiny. Gonna go for early Soul Ring, it looks like here for Ched. Soul Ring before BOT, so that he's able to kind of spam out March in the jungle, most likely. And yeah, we'll see what happens there in terms of the timing, how it affects his overall net worth. 33, gonna be taking some good hits here, but Zai's already got the bottle, rushes it out as his first item here. And the big thing for a level 1 Wisp is to make sure that you take some damage. You don't have overcharge to self-inflict, so you have to make sure that you get poked out a little bit so that you can actually still do your heal, since overheals don't work with Tether. That being said, Zai's managed to accomplish that quite well, where 33 did get healed up quite a bit from that bottle, which is now going to be refilled at the 2-minute mark. Still though, with 3 versus 2, we're going to be seeing Zabo and Onion continuously harassing and pushing back OpTic's bottom lane. PPD is seen by this range creep, but doesn't really care as he goes in hard onto Oscar. Now, there is no metamorphosis. There's one more right click. It's Oscar who gets the first blood. PPD just walks into it. Caustic or not, that takes quite a long effect. It takes quite a bit of time to really come into play. And yeah, the Sand King was just way too low HP to be taking a fight like that. And even gets his bounty rune sniped here by the Tiny. I think everything he intended with that movement is now completely undone. And turn the other way, Oscar's going to have a really good start up top. Not enough to force the Wisp to go up. I think he's still going to want to stick with 33, stick with the Night Stalker. Or, I'm living in the last game. Stick with the Beastmaster. But, yeah, even still, Peter Pan Dam not accomplishing his early game goals. And that means that, he's going to have less opportunities to pressure mid, which means that in turn is going to mean the Tinker gets a better start. And just overall, things are a lot better for Hooked. Gonna go in here. No Metamorphosis just yet, but some good damage with the Caustic and slow with Pycat's Q. But gets tossed back, and Oscar is going to be just fine with the Burrow Strike still on a couple seconds cooldown. So, overall, just good plays here from the Tiny. Keep himself up. He's going for a bottle as well. So, Bottle, Soul Ring, Wand, Tiny is going to have a lot of mana to work with. He's going to be able to spam out his spells quite a bit. And that means he's going to be getting kill opportunities all over if he has the reinforcements. Speaking of which, Sabo is already at level 2, Onion as well. Looking for a Nightmare opportunity. They have one on 33, but he's not the target they want to go on. They want to go on the Wisp, finally find it, and it's going to be everything going into this Wisp here. They're going to be dropping the net, they're going to be dropping the Incinerator, they're going to be right-clicking him down, and with that Riptide negative armor, the Wisp just crumbles. Had a Fairy Fire, I don't think it changes anything there. Just too much damage incoming, and a 0 base armor hero is not going to be able to deal with it. And both bounty runes going the way of Sabo down bottom. Pycat now very far from home, 3 seconds before he can TP out, and he'll be heading back to the tier 1 tower and hopefully getting some HP. He's got the tangos ticking away. Down bottom, Onion diffuses the situation against the Beastmaster, who has an Orb of Venom, and now is ready to really bash some heads in on the bottom lane. Alright, gonna be Fuzzy Sloth going in here. On to 33. Should be able to get away, no trouble, but Sabo's got the double damage, right? It trades a few hits here, and 33 does have to back off and get healed up with Zai's healing self. So, haven't talked too much about the mid lane here. It's going to be already the Soul Ring coming out for the Tinker, going for that March build-up, and looking for some early stacks. Nothing really coming his way, though. CCNC is going to be leading out the last hits 28 and 11 against Ched's 17 and 5. I mean, obviously, the big factor here is that even when Ched lasers, CCNC's still able to push out the wave. He's either going to flak it before that even happens, or he's just going to be able to rocket barrage isolated targets. Down bottom, Zai's going to be taking some good damage here. Is it going to be enough to bring him down? Yes, one more hit comes in before he gets safely under the tower. That is going to be a couple of nice little pickups on the Wisp here. It's going to be setting Hooked off for a 3-0 advantage. PPD looking for Ched, looking for an opportunity. Sees him stacking in the jungle, but he's going to have to tower dive for it. CCNC wants to go for it, though. Called down with the Rocket Barrage, and that is going to be the dead Tinker. CCNC takes a lot of damage in the interim. PPD as well. No Sandstorm means he takes 2 tower shots and will be finished off. Finally hits level 4, gets the Sandstorm, gets the Burrow out. Is it going to be enough, or is it going to be a neutral deny? It is! Nice little trigger on the Ancient Prowler Shaman. Forces the Desecrate, which forces the Suicide. So CCNC gets blanked up. Oscar and Onion making a kill happen, while Fuzzy Sloth gets zoned out on the bottom lane. Fuzzy Sloth now kind of taking a lot of physical damage here. It's going to be a nice nightmare to prevent the Burrow Strike, but one more right click will still do it. The life steal goes down, and those skills are very important in this context. Now diving with the Tether movement speed, it's going to be a nice little pickup on Onion. And Zai gets a double kill for himself, redeeming for the 2 deaths earlier.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And now it's going to be 33 a little bit too far forward. It's going to be punished for it, looks like, but as we say that, Zai comes in to reinforce. It's 33, still 1 hit from death. FaZe can go for the TP if he jukes it out, but gets caught out in the process. Over here, Sabo isolated, but no way that the 2 heroes here are actually going to be able to do anything on the offense. Just have to get out as quickly as possible. Ched goes for some more stacking. All he wants to do is farm the jungle right now. He needs to find those BOTs. He needs to find them soon, because towers are going to start knocking as this Terrorblade is now fully online with level 7. CCNC finds a couple targets in the jungle. Does not want to trade it out here against 3. And Burrow Strike will keep him safe as PPD goes a separate way. Alright, Rage does not come out in time to stop out this Burrow Strike. It's going to be a lot of right-click damage coming in. Infest is going to come out on the melee creep, and then Lifesteal will just pop out of that with most of his HP intact. Does not control the creep. Takes him a few hits, and he's going to be at about 480 HP by the end of it.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire structures.
Flank coming in. Sabo goes for the ensnare here. Onto the Wisp once more. Tether is available. 33 can just walk away. In fact, the Sand King's already here. Gives him the getaway car. And now PPD is able to jump in. Tinker does go down mid lane, but will fall, or up top lane, but will follow mid. And that's going to be Onion finished off by Zai. Now, it's actually Onion or Ched going down here. The Tinker gets killed off by the Terrorblade. That is metamorphosis damage. It's a lot of damage coming in, but it's very predictable. There was no other hero up here to kill off the Tinker. He just kind of got caught off guard, didn't maybe caught mid-laser animation where the right clicks were coming in, and just gets killed off, where a kill that I think he should have been able to avoid.
Radiant's top tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Alright, so BOT is going to be coming out here in about 500 gold still. Ched keeps on making his way that direction, but I think this is a great time for OpTic to go for a smoke play. They've got their level 6, they are getting healed up from the Shrine, and if they can just kind of find their way into the Radiant jungle, they have plenty of vision to make a kill happen.
Radiant are scanning.
Radiant scan catches out CC&C, who is dropping that Observer ward. Curious if they get a D ward off of that scan usage. Doesn't really give them a lot of useful information otherwise, but there's definitely a possibility they go for the D ward here. Meantime, top lane is already gone, so Terrorblade is not going to really do too much more. He doesn't want to go to tier 2 at this point, and this gives a little bit of an opportunity for Fuzzy Sloth to make up for some lost farm. But as he's just trying to kind of keep the Terrorblade at bay, we've already got action down bottom with Peter Pan Dam sandstorming the Nightmare and getting his distance. Sabo can't get in range for that snare. Gets tossed for it, so they are going to get the snare here onto the Sand King. But Zai dropping a lot of healing right now. Can go for the overcharge. Didn't overcharge himself and didn't get anything off in terms of like the magic wand, the fairy fire. Can't help his buddy, but with the toss, he's actually going to get caught out too. Broken-hearted indeed. Zai and PPD going down together in flames. That was a really rough spot for them to be in. Nice toss action from Oscar. I think that's the key there. Tossing up the Wisp, obviously mid-tether, is huge. And then tossing in the Naga Siren for their very aggressive play on the SK. So I think PPD expected to live a little bit longer there to maybe get a Burrow Strike away. But just Zai was full HP and was not overcharging to try to get him out of there. Went for the relocate, just none of it worked out. They're going to be going for their play down bottom, though. It's going to be 33, currently 2v1. But get some reinforcements here. A full team coming in. And it's going to be enough to bring down both Oscar and Shabo. Always just answering tit for tat. We have 7 and 7 as the overall kill score. And this is favoring OpTic in terms of net worth and experience. 4,500 on net worth is going to be OpTic's lead, and you know, this will set up well, no early Blink Dagger for PPD. He's been too down in the trenches, but this is going to be just overall good core farm, I would say. Like topping out net worth here, we do have both Terrorblade and Gyrocopter at 7,200, 5,300 respectively. From there, the Tinker finally picks up BOTs, continues to farm up the jungle, and action down bottom as the Naga Siren gets caught out again. He's just trying to fish for level 6. Pun intended. He is just trying to get that little bit of extra experience, get the critical song. It's a long cooldown, but you know, we've been 13 minutes without it, and that's time that he's not using it either way. So really can't defuse any situations unless he gets that ultimate, but puts himself in harm's way as they just go behind enemy lines and get the quick and easy kill. At this point, Hooked really need to be avoiding any deaths that don't involve Primal Roar. Primal Roar deaths are inevitable when you have this little map control. When OpTic, I just have this burst of speed and this ability to kind of get in play. With the drums, with the tether, they can always be there to get a kill with Primal Roar. But it's these smaller kills that they only commit a Burrow Strike for that Hooked really need to start avoiding if they're going to come online. Again, 2 games in a row, Fuzzy Sloth trying to get this Radiance. Well, we saw him get the Sacred Relic last time. We'll see if he actually completes the item. in this entire best of 3 series, because right now OpTic are bringing as much momentum to this game as they were the previous one. Well, maybe not as much. I mean, there are more kills going the way of Hooked, and the timer is 14 minutes where the previous game ended at 17.5. I don't think we're going to have that quick of a game, but this could still be very easily a 25-minute victory for OpTic unless Hooked start making things happen. Dagger soon to be on Oscar, and I think that's the key. 33. Get some eyes on the opposition, but gonna need a little bit more than that. Up top. Song finally found for Sabo. Maxing out the Riptide. Nope. Holding the point for now. So, and you got to look at this warding and try to think of, okay, what is Hooked's mindset right now? They want to try to take over the Dire jungle, but they have enough trouble in their own. They don't feel safe on their side of the map, so they feel like they have to make something happen on the other side. This gives good intel into any shrine TPs and allows them to maybe go for like a roast play or smoke play, but the heroes that are in their current position don't really have a lot of options. Most of it is still kind of sit back and farm, wait for the items to come online. I mean, this lifestealer hasn't gained an item in so long because he's sitting on 3,200 net worth. He's just sitting on that gold. So the Radiance buildup takes so long, and this Tinker without Blink is doing so little that they really don't have any options outside the Tiny. The Tiny has to do something. He's looking for an opening up top. And we'll see if anything avails him. Onion just needs one Nightmare to set something up. One Nightmare sets up a blink forward and a toss back. But right now we're not seeing it. We're just seeing OpTic take over the map. We're seeing Glimmer Cape progression for the IO Zai. We're looking for Dagger soon on 33. Oh, this is it. There's the opportunity. Blinking in from the northern side. Oscar is going to be able to flank on 33 and bring him down quickly. But the rebuttal is just to push down the towers. CNC clears out the creep wave quickly enough, and the Terrorblade can at least send some illusions that direction.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Alrighty. Looking for opportunities now.
Is under attack.
Tinker pushing out the bottom waves while Fuzzy Floss keeps tabs on top. Again, only can go down to a Primal Roar, but 33 is in the vicinity. Maybe going to look for a relocate play coming in, but just right now, he doesn't have eyes on him. The Hawk action isn't really too significant right now. Needs to get level. There we go. The next point in the Call of Wild, and now he finally can bring the Hawk into play. Sabo looking for an opening on PPD, but is able to disjoint the ensnare and really make that impossible. Anta is up on the Terrorblade, by the way, so it's going to be hard to kill him off, but not too difficult to finish off this Beastmaster up top. Did miss that one, as the dynamic duo here, Fuzzy and Oscar, do make a kill happen with the Infest Bomb. And that's going to get him the Radiance. He's actually getting it this game, guys, and that means that we're going to be able to see the full benefit of that. A level 2 Infest allows him to jump in the Agents, or he could just, do significant damage over time. He has a chance to, make the Terrorblade miss. He has an opportunity to maybe put a Sand King Blink Dagger on cooldown or a Beastmaster Blink Dagger on cooldown. And that can do a lot in the fights. So overall, great item. Definitely increases his farm speed. There's no way the Lifestealer farms nearly as fast as any of the other heroes on the map without a Radiance. But as you guys can see, it's been such a heavy investment. Up until this point in time, it's been OpTic's game. And we're just going to have to see if Hook can bounce back with these particular items coming in. There's no tower to push here, guys, so with 4 heroes committed to the top lane, OpTic are in a position to succeed. They have to commit to a tier 2. Like, this is actually really weird. These heroes kind of sitting behind looking for opportunity, but there's a Radiant Observer Ward that sees all their movement, and there's no tower to push. They have to commit to a tier 2 tower if they're going to do anything, otherwise it's just a waste of time.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So yeah, a lot of wasted time here for the support staff of OpTic. Terrorblade has still been going nonstop. Highcat's been just racking up the net worth here. He's a monster. 12,000. Going to be getting that Scotty very quickly thereafter, but this is going to be just kind of follow the leader for Zion PPD, and to a lesser extent 33. But they get plenty of core farm coming in here. CCNC will have this BKB coming out at a pretty good clip. Already has the drum Yasha, so he's got a lot of mobility in these fights. That being said, now we have finally the timing that Hook we're looking for. They now have options, ladies and gentlemen. They have Infest Bombs, they have Radiance, they have the Tinker Blink action. And they should be able to get some kills out of the next engagement. But they need a way to start it, whether that's from Song or Ensnare, maybe just a wandering Nightmare in. It's going to be tough, but they definitely need to find those openings. Because if it's just on one target that Zai is in range of, it'll just be a relocate diffusion. It'll be like, okay, you brought in everybody, you got this cool Infest play, but they might not have enough damage to bring down these core heroes. And it's just going to be a little bit more farming coming through. I mean, at this point, Hooked are the ones that now have the items that they need to make things happen. OpTic are fine with farming from this position. Terrorblade getting Scotty is a massive for his survivability. Same with Gyrocopter and the BKB. OpTic are perfectly fine with just smoking behind their cores and letting them build up the next thing. I mean, yeah, PBD isn't getting a Blink Dagger anytime soon, but all the same, they're getting a lot out of it. Roar, maybe just stop the Song? Nope, Song is going to come through here. The homing missile is going to keep him in place for a little while. Are they actually going to get out of this one? Blink forward could let them set up the Naga, but they don't think it's even worth it. The Naga uses her massive cooldown here just to keep herself alive. It really doesn't change the scope of the game too much, and just opens up Roshan for OpTic. So now Hooked lacking options in the pit. Hawks scouting things out on the southern side, and looks like it's going to be a free Aegis here. Let's see who they decide to give it to. Obviously, Gyrocopter can make use of the second wave of Black Cannon with the second life. They do end up giving it to Pycap. So you can play a little bit more aggressively with his Sunder, kind of hold it onto it until he really needs it, and has that kind of second life to fall back on, even if it doesn't have the Metamorphosis. And he, you know, bringing him down once is hard enough. I mean, he's got a Scotty, he's got a Manta, he's got obviously a Sunder, so like they're not going to be able to burst him too easily. Even though that's what Hook's lineup is designed to do. A lot of magical and pure burst with the skill set of these heroes. It's just so hard when the hero that you're up against is at least 2300 HP. Now you have to, you know, not commit too hard. Your goal with the Aegis is to break it and back off, or to dominate the fight so hard that it doesn't factor in. So, overall, it's a tall order. We do actually have a Roar coming out here on the Courier. Don't have the hotkey to figure out what that was, but rest assured, it's not giving items out anytime soon. The Ether Lens, I think, is the item of choice. Tinker was going to try to get the energy booster from the shop, and that didn't end up happening.
Middle tower is under attack.
Blink Dagger coming in for the Terrorblade is very interesting, though. It allows him to get in the fight very quickly. His movement speed isn't the strongest without like a butterfly at this point of the game, so it's not an investment you'll see very often, but it does allow him to kind of just jump in, pop Reflection, and say, you're not getting away from me. It allows him to kind of initiate at the same rate as his allies do. The Blink Initiation for the Beastmaster, the Burst Strike follow-up from the Sand King, and whoever has IO kind of in the driver's seat no matter what. So it's a very interesting pickup. He does swap out his Ring of Aquila to have that available, and just to make sure that he's never out of the fight.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Still, up against Radiance, I don't know. It's kind of an interesting choice for sure. Roar coming out, that is going to be the death of the Naga Siren. Has a song, but no chance to use it, because they just follow up and break her down really quickly. Tier 2 Dion for sure up top, and I think they're going to try to turn this into a little bit more. I mean, yeah, Oscar's got the Shadow Blade, he's got the Infest Bomb, but there's no way you'd burst down Pycat in this situation. Like, at best, you get him to, like, 20% health, then you get burrow struck, and that's in best case scenario. You probably just can't kill him at all. You probably just get sundered and die. So, yep, Hook's just kind of on the back foot here, trying to finish up. He doesn't even go for the ether lens now, since his courier got sniped out. He's just like, screw it, I'll just go for the Ags. And should have that pretty soon, but we'll see if OpTic even give them that amount of time. The Age is still going to be in play for another couple of minutes here. Roar not available. Nice little Rage TP play from Fuzzy Soft. But you see what OpTic are doing. Even if they're not breaking the base wide open, like, they're just controlling the map. There's no way that Hook can safely cross this line. Tinker is designed to try to push out the lanes, try to push out pressure on the sides, and you know, he might be able to do it up here at this point, but for the most part, they're really well condensed, where they really don't have the option. They obviously can't do it in mid. It's single Beastmaster Hawk, and then Tinker's dead. And it's just very dangerous to do it up top and down bottom when the lanes are pushed out that far. So this allows Zai to go for some crazy like AoE farming, find his next item, and it allows them to just play so spread out on the map. Like they'll have their cake and eat it too. They'll take the Radiant jungle, they'll take the Dire jungle, they'll take the lanes. They get anything they want. And there's very little that the Hook can do to really counteract that. Now Peter Pandam finally finds that Blink Dagger. 25 minutes, not your generally acceptable time for it, but dead Naga. I don't know. She just gets Blink Roared and killed off again. They're just not giving her a break, not giving her a chance. You usually see the Roar saved for the lifesteal in this situation, maybe even the Tinker. But they're just saying, okay, if we don't have to worry about a song reset, we can just go in hard, and they're just going in hard. Ched goes down, has to buy back, and now they're just going to go in for the tower. CCC's BKB may be on cooldown, but Pycat still has the Aegis for a little bit longer, and they're just going to chunk down the tower so quickly. Pycat, his massive damage output with the overcharge of the Wisp, they're going to take both racks down like in a flash. Oscar trying to find an opportunity where he can toss somebody back, but really, it's all already done. It's gone. There's no Naga song reset, and there's no opportunity. They know that if there's no initiation or counter initiation from Hook, there's nothing to worry about on the side of OpTic. Song now coming through. It's a Song TP forward, looking for the Meteor Hammer on the backside. They don't get any Marks of Machines set up in the meantime, and Zaba just dies. He misses the Meteor Hammer. Oscar looking for a kill, but gets double burrowed by PPD, and that's going to be it. Fuzzy, can you even get the Wisp? He Glimmer Capes soon, but it's going to be the dead Wisp in exchange for everything. All the buybacks in the world coming through. Relocate forward for the win. It's going to be a mega kill. It's going to be OpTic sweeping this series 2-0. 27 minutes in, and OpTic Gaming have just blown this one wide open. They take that racks so quickly, and there's just no answer whatsoever. They itemize really well defensively against the magical and pure nuke damage, so Pycat and CCC just weren't able to be killed. And they knew what their target was. Their target was the Initiator. If they take away the Song of Siren, you don't have to worry about Tinker laying down 3 sets of March Machines while a Meteor Hammer drops down on you and a tiny combo comes out and the Infest Bomb and everything. Like, they don't give them the setup. They don't give them the window to do that because they just roar the Naga every time she shows on the lane. She overextends, they punish it, and then they take a Rax. Like, it's just step 1, step 2, step 3. They get so much farm and so much map control that all they have to do is wait for Hook to make a mistake, which inevitably, of course, they did. OpTic Gaming taking this series now 2-0. The first game's about 17.5 minutes. The second one about 10 minutes longer, but still a pretty good average here for OpTic Gaming in MDL NA, the qualifier for the Changsha Major. So, looking really good here. OpTic going to be going into their upper bracket match next. I believe that is going to be against Complexity, and that is going to be cast by Mike Loris over on Beyond the Summit. So BTS 1 is where the remainder of the match is going to be. I'm going to go ahead and host that after we run some ads, pay the bills, and sign off here. Thanks once again for tuning in. I myself am Blaze at BlazeCasting. I'm going to be bringing you guys some South American coverage over the next 2 days, and hopefully you guys get a chance to tune in for that. But either way, thanks once again for tuning in to OpTic Gaming's match against Hooked here in the MDL NA qualifier, and we'll see you guys next time.